How's it going? I have just finished a week full of interviews and activity for a couple of different opportunities that sound pretty promising. It has been a long week, so I decided to treat myself to a fancy drink, an expensive drink. I don't love that someone wrote yummy on my cup because I'm not a fan of that word coming from adults, but I'm not going to complain because I feel like their intentions were good. Hey, I'm just going to try to brighten someone's day and write the word yummy, even though it's kind of gross. But cheers. I think that they had good intentions. It has been a month and 10 days since I've been unemployed, and I'm feeling, pretty optimistic about those opportunities that I just spoke of. One of the things that I find really interesting is, kind of coming into this, stage of my life, I was thinking like, well, I'm going to spend a lot of time, searching for jobs and doing that kind of stuff. But also, I'm gonna have so much free time to do all these activities and, do stuff around the house and, make videos if I want to. I definitely wanted to. I'm not sure why I said it like that. But one of the things, and this is not necessarily a problem, but knowing that I don't have any income, regular income right now, a lot of people have reached out and said like, oh, hey, I'm in need of, such and such help. Would you be able to do that for me? And I'll pay you. And I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? And so have been like a ton of, different things that I have been doing to chip in and help out, for a little extra cash to kind of get us by during this time of just being on one salary, my wife's. So as I've been doing all of those things, they kind of start adding up and has, taken a good portion of my week. So I am not only, doing everything I can to support the job search and, the interview process and studying and really, preparing myself for all of those situations, but also juggling the disparate opportunities that people have given me to, help them out for some extra cash. And it's like, I don't feel like I have any of that time that I was expecting, in the beginning. So it's not necessarily a problem. And, as I've said many, many times, when life gets hectic and busy, the content creation is the first thing to drop off the map. And I'm comfortable with that. I don't love it, but I totally understand why I have to do that sometimes. So it's been a while since that last video that I posted, but I feel, it's kind that so many people want to say like, oh, hey, I've got this thing that I know that you're good at. Could you do it for me? That's out of kindness, right? And people are looking for ways they can support me, during this time. And that's great, and I would never complain about that. It's just when they all add up, then it's almost like a full-time job while trying to find a full-time job. So I'm feeling very optimistic about the opportunities that I have in front of me, and now I'm just in the part that's waiting. So I am waiting to hear back after that busy flurry of activity, in terms of interviewing and hiring and stuff. So we'll just see. That is yummy. Not only did they write yummy on my cup, they spelled my name Bindum. What are you gonna do? Speaking of my name, one of the things I've been thinking about is the fact that the name of my YouTube channel is my real name. And when people are hiring and they're looking into a candidate, they do, I think, a cursory social media search just to make sure there isn't anything concerning or negative that person is putting out there online, that might give them pause in hiring this person. So I was just thinking like, what if a potential employer is Googling me and finds this channel, and then they say like, oh, this guy's unemployed. And that impacts my ability to negotiate a salary if offered a job or something like that, where they could say like, we know you're not making anything right now because I watched your last video, and this offer is good. I don't know how realistic that is, but you know, in any, if there is a possibility that this could harm me, you know, should I take my last name off of my channel, for example? I've seen a lot of people that I follow recently change the name of their channel to no longer be their full name, maybe for similar reasons, or you know, maybe just privacy in general. But I'm just wondering if that's something I should do. You know, back when I first created this channel, when YouTube was just starting out and before they were bought by Google, you know, no one knew what it would become, and I just figured, oh, my name is my name. That's why wouldn't I name my channel that? So I've just rolled with it all of these years, and I don't really put anything out there that I wouldn't be able to defend, you know, if asked about, or anything that I think isn't consistent with, you know, who I am and what I'm about. So I haven't felt like it was ever a risk to me until kind of thinking about the employment aspect of it and, you know, possibly lessening my chances of negotiating. Because I'm talking about my situation right now, which I feel like that's who I am. That's the stage of life that I'm in right now. And I think that there's a lot of people, you know, judging by the comments I'm getting, there's a lot of people who are in a similar situation. My intentions for this YouTube channel have always been in the spirit of sharing my journey, sharing my story, whether that is content creation, whether that is unemployment, or simply just someone who is middle-aged and navigating life. And hoping that in sharing my story, there are others out there who can either empathize with it or want to follow along because they see themselves in the kind of struggles that I'm, you know, navigating. That's always been my intentions. I think that the probability that a potential employer would come across this channel, see the content I'm making, and have that reflect negatively on me. Because I don't say anything that I, you know, wouldn't say to anyone in person. I try to be pretty consistent with who I am and what I'm about in all the content that I put out on this channel. I wouldn't put anything out that I don't actually believe in, you know. And I don't think that there's anyone who would see any of this that I'm doing as a negative. And, you know, if they had questions about it, I'd be happy to just talk about like, hey, here's why I do this. So the potential downsides, I think, are so small in comparison to all of the good that I've gotten from sharing my story and the community here on YouTube of, you know, other vloggers of a similar age and similar mindset. The comments have been so supportive, you know, or especially over this past, you know, month and a half or so. And I get a lot from that, and I hope that others get a lot from, you know, following along with my story and hearing what I have to say about that. I think that the pros outweigh the cons in this. So I'll probably just keep my name as the name of this channel, unless I can come up with something really cool and catchy, like I feel like everything is already taken. I'll probably just keep it as my name for now. Thank you for watching. If you made it this far into the video, please hit the like button, as that really helps me out. And I will talk to you soon. Cheers.